Hey everyone, welcome back. And today we've got something a little bit different. No, we don't. It's more Minecraft ASMR. Pow. So, I thought for this video I would continue to work on this little kind of outskirted pond thing. So, and to do that, I was going to add another tree on this corner side here that branches off like so. And I need my axe back. It's almost broken. Alright. That axe is gonna break any second now. So I gotta be careful with my next few block places. Well, we're kind of having it go this direction here, and I wanted to move more towards that middle. So I actually think this is gonna kind of have like a logarithmic look to it. So it's gonna kind of. Oops, no, not that. That's not what I wanted. I need another axe. So, yeah. So I thought I would talk about a funny story that I remembered while at my fast food job. I talked about in episode 3. I didn't craft that, did I? And so I don't remember the names that I gave them. So I'm gonna call the co-manager who was questionable whether or not she was like sleeping with the manager, who was also really nice to me. We're gonna call her Karen, and then the cook who is like my good friend and who I work side by side with him. We're gonna call him Matt. So Matt, Karen, and I had to do trash, and trash is like the worst chore / task we had to do at the fast food joint, basically. And we didn't technically have like recycling. Like we didn't have like a way to recycle our stuff. So we would go down to the supply store next door and recycle all of our stuff in their bins, which was probably illegal, but our manager had us do it anyways. So we would go and do that. Well, I think they caught on that someone was recycling stuff into their bins, and we noticed that the recycling bins slowly started moving away from the restaurant. And like eventually it was to the point where we had to drive vehicles down to actually get there and do our job, because the manager was too stingy to pay the recycling company. So we used other companies' recycling privileges. Anyways, as they caught on and slowly moved it, we just ended up driving down there so we wouldn't have to deal with our manager's wrath. And one time we went down there, it was all good. We loaded up Karen's truck with all the recycling. It was a pretty good truckload of stuff, and we get down there, everything's going good. Matt and I are doing runs, going back and forth between the recycling bin and the truck, and Karen is on the lookout, and all of a sudden Karen goes, guys, guys. And Matt and I look at her a little confused and go, what do you want? What's wrong? Someone coming. And she freezes. And she points to this little plastic carrier crate that we never noticed. And she freezes, like she's frozen up. She's looking at it. And she just goes, skunk. And it turns out there was a rabid skunk living inside of this little carrier crate that they left out. It was full of food, and there was a sleeping skunk in there. And we had been delivering recycling next to the crate for the past 5 minutes. They used a raccoon. I don't know, it was some kind of animal. I think it was a skunk because I was afraid of getting sprayed. So the runs quickened up, and eventually the little crate started kind of jiggling a bit, and its head poked out. Matt is already basically going from being next to me to immediately in the back of the truck ready to go. I was not aware of the skunk being awoken and noticed that Matt was no longer next to me. Then I noticed the skunk was slowly crawling out. So I was running towards the truck as Karen didn't realize that I wasn't in the back of the truck and she had floored it. So I was chasing after a truck that was already probably going 30 miles an hour while trying to jump in the back of it while the skunk was now chasing me. And I remember jumping in the back of the truck and almost missing and just eating it face first and looking back behind me as I'm still trying to crawl back into the back of the truck while Matt's, taking my hand and trying to make sure that I don't, go face first into the pavement. He's laughing. Karen's laughing. I'm panicking. And the skunk is still chasing us. Anyways, eventually I finally get in, turn around, and the skunk is still full speed ahead, following us. And we peel out of the parking lot and go. And eventually the little bastard decides that we're not worth its time and stops. But it was just kind of funny because we didn't notice the fact that there was a carrier crate with a skunk. A goddamn skunk living there. Like, what? Why? And what was worse is that when we noticed that the skunk was there, we didn't immediately back away and let's just accept our losses and throw the cardboard away because, just getting a few lashings from the managers is not nearly as bad as being sprayed with a skunk. Nope. In our minds, getting yelled at by the manager was infinitely worse, so the better alternative was to risk getting sprayed and do basically strafing runs towards the cardboard bins, throwing them in there and running right back to the truck and repeating until the truck was empty. Once we discovered the skunk, though, Karen went from being on the lookout to actually helping, because this was no longer about being sneaky and getting away with recycling stuff we shouldn't be, and it was now about surviving and not being sprayed with putrid chemicals from a skunk. So I thought I would share that story because it's one of the funnier ones that happened to that work, because it wasn't all terrible. Granted, it's still pretty bad, all things considered, but there definitely are some actual good stories of stuff that happened there that, still put a smile on my face to this day. Another one was, this was way back in 2016, which, if you guys remember, in October of 2016 was a time where we actually had to deal with a clown crisis, and people were dressing up as clowns and scaring people. Well, the girl up front, we'll call her, well, I can't call her that because then I'd have to write this MA, but we'll just call her freaking Stacy. That's a pretty good name for a basic, we're gonna call her Stacy. She was one of the ones who would get away with watching Netflix while working, and I would be the one to have to do her job, and I would get yelled at for not doing her job properly because I never received proper training for it. She would get away with watching Netflix. When she threatened to quit, they gave her a raise to basically watch Netflix while not doing her job. I was always cleaning up after her and doing the work that she definitely was not doing whatsoever, and then she would get credit for doing that work. But one time in particular, I had to study for my calculus midterm, my Calc 2 midterm. I asked in ahead by 4 hours if I could leave early. If there's an opportunity where someone needs to get cut, if I could get cut because we were overstaffed. So that way I could go home and study for a midterm. Manager, thumbs up. Yeah, good, cool. You can do that. Whatever. Do what you want to. Stacy is watching Netflix for the entire thing. I ended up doing a lot of her work. And then the manager comes up to me and says, oh, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be able to let you go because Stacy is feeling sick and we need her to go. She had a stomach ache from an inexplicable reason while watching Netflix and had to go home immediately. It could not be delayed. She had to go home at that very second. So I ended up almost losing my 4.0 GPA because we didn't have AP credits. We just had college credits. So I was taking that for college credit. I almost lost my borderline B, or borderline A, where it was like, see on the fence. I almost lost that A. And if I lost that grade would have gone in for the quarter, and it would have locked in, and there would have been nothing I could do about it. I would have that on my transcript, and I would have lost my my scholarship that I had access to, or if I had perfect 4.0 GPA, then I would basically get a certain amount of money for my academics. I almost lost that because Stacy had a bellyache because I wasn't able to get home until 11 that night and didn't have time to review integrals like I had planned to. But anyways, after that, I kind of snapped and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make Stacy regret basically not doing her work. So she later brought up how the whole clown craze was scaring her and it was giving her problems sleeping at night. And me, being the complete asshole I am when I'm trying to get revenge, gets an idea. So me, Matt, and the other cook, which I can't remember what name I gave him, all start working together on this plan because we've all been screwed over individually by Stacy. All of us. All three of us, in different instances, had something happen where Stacy screws us over to the point where it costs us. So, we go to a Halloween city and buy 4 clown costumes. I was on shift that night. It was October 22nd, I think. Stacy was working up front. Now, this building in particular, the entire front was glass. There, 2 of the 4 walls were entirely glass, with the third one being 50% glass. So that's how much open area was. Because of the light pollution, you couldn't see outside, but outside could see you. So we used this to our advantage. We got a couple buddies from class, as well as Matt and the other cook, and they put on the clown costumes and got to work. It was 9 o'clock that night. I had just finished closing the kitchen. I don't know what I'm doing in Minecraft right now, I'm just wandering about. I was closing up the kitchen, and Stacy, of course, emptied the tip jar and put it in her pocket and didn't share, even though I helped her up front for about 5 hours that day. she pocketed the tip jar and didn't give me any of it, even though I covered for her when she was watching Netflix or doing whatever. So that was great. It's a little something I should add, was that when a customer, like, hey, here's a tip, to me, $20 tip to me, got pocketed by Stacy. So go for yourself, Stacy. Yeah, I just said that. I'm a little angry here, so I'm sorry for dropping that there, but I'm a little heated. But anyways, Stacy pockets the money, and then I go on the radio and say, hey, did you hear a knocking on the back door? And she replies with no. And I go, that's kind of weird because I've been hearing this knocking for almost the entire night. Like, it's like rhythmic. And I've been wondering if you've been doing it. She replies with, no, I wouldn't do that. Why, are you hearing knocking? I go, oh, I'm sure it's nothing, but it's like, kind of scratching, knocking, and it's just constant. It's been going on ever since it came dark. Oh shoot, I also gotta say that 2 days earlier, Matt and the other cook put on one of the costumes and took a picture out by the dumpsters. And Matt was like, guys, I saw this thing near the dumpsters. What is it? So Stacy already has the idea of clowns being in the area lurking about. So once this starts happening and I start bringing up that, there's knocking and whatnot, I act like I'm chalking it off, like I don't care. But Stacy is panicking. She is constantly like, peeking up at the windows. She's kind of hidden. She's concealing herself. And then I shoot the message out to Matt. And it commences. Matt, wearing his costume, walks up to the window right in her view and just stares at her. She starts panicking. The other cook walks up next to the door window and stares, blocking her only exit. She starts freaking out. Then her other two friends, wearing the other costumes, slowly surround it and just watch her. She begins freaking out. She doesn't know what to do. I'm in the back where there's no windows, and I'm saying, no, I don't believe you. That's ridiculous. No, that's not happening. Stop making up stories. She runs back in the kitchen and tells me, come out here and look. And we go back. We go back out front, and there's no one there. I shrug it off, tell her she's going crazy and she needs to go to bed, and go back outside. This went on for about 10 minutes before she snapped and called the police. And my buddies booked it and bailed. And I said that she's just been going crazy and she has been sleeping right. And we later revealed it about 2 days later that it was us. And she probably still does not forgive me to this day. Granted, that was an extremely mean thing to do. But, that's what you get for consistently screwing over your coworkers, dumping shifts onto people in the last minute, watching Netflix when you're supposed to be working, not doing your job and blaming it on other people, not doing your job and taking credit for it. I mean, all in all, she had it coming. And I may have taken it a bit too far with my buddies and I, but it was really fun. I don't regret it, whatever. So, yeah. Anyways, that's another kind of work story there. There were a lot of sort of really messed up things that happened in that workspace, and just wanted to, again, sorry for swearing earlier. I know that's kind of not very TVPG, but just had to drop that. I'll probably try to censor that or something, but yeah. I got really flustered there because talking about that place sometimes gets me on these rant tangents, and I just kind of say whatever comes to mind. Ooh, I'm tired. Alright, I'm gonna start working on some more stuff at the paths and head back. But yeah, those kind of occurrences were really common at the place that I worked at. And I'm really glad that I have a new job that has adults working there who understand distribution of work and know how to enjoy, slacking off, but also getting their job done. Because the problem wasn't her watching Netflix. It was that she was watching Netflix and not doing her job. Because I would also kind of screw around and, show Matt and the other cook memes and whatnot, but we would get our job done. There was never a time where we were distracting each other to the point where work was not getting done. Stacy, on the other hand, was constantly distracting herself to the point where no work was getting done whatsoever, and that was a problem. Okay, so I think I'm gonna build a minor path going to this here. So we need a shovel, and I'm gonna need to do some stonework, I think. Wow, I'm really tired. Sorry about that. Also sorry for going on a tangent there and not actually playing Minecraft, but, thought I would throw something somewhat entertaining and whatnot. If you prefer no stories, let me know. If you enjoy having occasional stories, let me know. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what works right now and what people enjoy. So please let me know what you think. Also, I wanted to point out that I prefer it when people actually at least watch more than 3 minutes of the video, because I would rather have 10 people who watch the entire video than 100 people who only watch a couple minutes. Because even if the watch times are the same, the YouTube algorithm is going to recommend me more if less people are watching it more, because that tells the YouTube algorithm that my content is doing successful stuff and that it should be recommended more. But if it's dropped and someone clicks on it then clicks away, it actually causes problems and I'm recommended less. So yeah, if you've made it this far in the end of the video, I would strongly recommend that you keep watching, because I could really use the boost from the YouTubes and receive the blessing of the YouTube algorithm, as it should deem me fortunate enough. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just building stuff. Wow. Oh, nope, crap. I totally just unplugged my headphones. Shoot. I don't know how loud this is. There we go. There we go. That was interesting. So basically the way my setup is going is that my voice is going right back into my ears, and so is the game audio. So my headphones go unplugged. Just out of nowhere, everything just went dead silent. And that was interesting. No, I don't like that. I gotta think about this here because I don't want it to be too wide and take up too much of the pond here, but I also want it to be just right. So I don't know what the best, like, the best move for me would be. Oh, I think I have an idea. So off camera, I've kind of been playing with the new water physics every now and then. And there's some cool features and whatnot that I think I want to utilize. So we're gonna find out here if it's as cool as my brain isn't picturing it to be. Okay. Need more water. I don't know if that looks as cool as I thought it would. Maybe I should finish it before I make judgments. My car gets a new bumper tomorrow, and I'm kind of excited about. Actually, not tomorrow, Tuesday, and I'm pretty excited about that because it's gonna have a really nice, fresh, and kind of sporty look to it, and that will look really cool. So, I drive a E46 BMW. It's only a 325, but you know, it's still a fun car to drive. So, yeah, huge fan of that car. It's got some cool LED headlights, and maybe once the bumper gets back on, I might do some driving stuff and do some rambles as you listen to the roar of the fiery combustion engine as it kicks up into 6,500 RPM on a cold fall night. I don't know if this is gonna look any good. No, not really. Maybe I'll just leave it like this. Oh, you can't place torches on stairs. Darn. How am I gonna light it then? I guess I could do little like pillars every now and then, but that makes it look weird. So I would need to like cut out little spots here. And then maybe do like piss every now and then. I don't know about that. I'll try it with, a regular fence post and see how that looks instead. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it like this for now. That'll work. Yeah, that looks good. And then, let's see. I think it'll look really cool just before it hits the dock. Like this. And I'm going to move these back for OCD's sake. Yeah, that actually works pretty well, I think. What's cool is I wonder if I can use this for like farmland. It'd be really cool. Okay, then I think that I'll probably have the cabin start right here. All right. Let's see. Every 4 blocks. Okay. There we go. Inventory is kind of becoming a little crowded. That's going to be a problem. Oh, cool. That makes things easier. I wonder how this will look for a screenshot. I'm going to need one. So I am actually going to probably stage a screenshot here. There we go. And now we wait. Oh, dirt block. Can only reach nighttime so fast. some of the noises I hear on the microphone like legitimately freak me out to an extent, and like make me want to like turn my head around and like look behind me to make sure that there's not some like freaky serial killer behind me, because my mind is still very immature like that. There we go, right there. Perfect. All right. Thanks for, maybe I can get an even better one by doing this. I don't know. I'm gonna play with it here for a second. Well, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate that. If you made it this far, that's awesome. Please leave like recommendations of stuff that I can do to improve my videos for you, because you are the viewer that I am trying to appeal to, the one who is willing to watch all the way through this. Any recommendations are welcome, and thank you, and